Okay. Hey there, boys and girls. This is great. If we sound like we're rushing, it's because we just hit something we really want to talk about. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollow Weekly. Nick and Trevor here. A little short bonus episode. A little late to the party, but better late than never with Evil Dead Rise.
May I have your attention, please?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I don't know what real anymore.
Horror. Something even more terrible than you.
Probably, aside from Scream, one of the bigger releases this year.
And pretty well liked. Universally praised, I guess.
Made a lot of money. It was another one of those, holy shit, how did this make... Actually, as of recording this, Insidious 5 is doing the same thing.
Damn.
Everyone thought Indiana Jones was going to make $400 million at $500 million.
Insidious.
It was like, no. People want to see the conclusion, which has been, I think, the critical response for this one has been how most fifth installments would go. But I've also seen a lot of people saying that it tidies up the Insidious story quite well.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's a little bit of like, is it going to be a great movie? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
As long as it fills in the blanks.
Yeah, and
type of thing.
And it wraps it up. And it wraps it up nicely, and then we can like be done with it.
Yes.
I think that's cool. But here we are. Is that a hair? That's probably my hair.
On the mic. It's probably mine.
Oh no, it's definitely mine. What color is it? Is it brown? Is it red?
I think it's white. It's probably mine from last time.
Or mine. I got a little oh yeah, we'll blame
it. Cat.
We'll blame the
it's
cat.
a cat.
We'll blame the cat. Okay, so here we are. We're with Evil Dead Rise. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give everyone my favorite description, which is the front page Google one. If you've seen any Evil Dead, the plot's the same. You're not gonna. It's your standard bolt action. Shit's gonna hit the fan real hard and real fast. A reunion between estranged sisters gets cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle of survival as they face the most nightmarish version of their family imaginable.
Sure.
I mean, it's just take your Evil Dead, put it in a family in an apartment.
Put it in an apartment building.
Yeah, great. That's easy peasy setup.
And in L.A.
And in L.A.
But where was it actually filmed? I forget what it said.
Was it New Zealand?
What was it?
It was some other place.
It was something. It wasn't Canada though either. I don't think.
No.
It was someplace. It might have been New Zealand.
Might have been.
I think it might have been.
I'm gonna hedge my without. I'm not even gonna look it up. I'm gonna bet 100% that it was New Zealand.
We don't look up things here.
No. but when I do find a lull, I will look it up.
Yeah.
I will put a pin in it.
Which makes kind of sense when you see it. You're like, okay, because there was something a little off about everybody. Because everybody's not quite like LA centric. You can kind of tell sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, and also like the idea of like the high rise in LA. Like there are big big buildings here, obviously, but like that's not like the norm,
No.
Where
poor people are living in like a 20-story building.
Yeah, it's not like the Raid.
No.
I thought
it was gonna be like futuristic too, because it looked like it was gonna be kind of weirdly like futuristic, and maybe it was, but I don't think so.
No, I think it was. I will say this. I like the curveball that the film gave us, where it started off in the woods, because I mean, of course, the Evil Dead's gonna be a cabin in the woods, and then slamming us into the city. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But the thing at the beginning of the episode, we were talking about how we were rushing into this conversation because there was a TikTok of a YouTuber. Follow that with me.
Yeah.
There was a TikToker talking about a YouTuber's view of like film criticism, and even we are a podcast where we talk about like we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't view it as film criticism.
We are not film critics.
Yeah, we're not like film critics. Like we're just two guys talking about I know that's a form of that. Like I'm not a moron. I get that, but I view like the criticism as like a someone who's really thinking about it, really writing it down, putting their ass into it.
Yes.
But what this guy was talking about was how a lot of film criticism nowadays is it's usually black or white. Yeah. You have to land on either side, and when we first started Hollow Weekly, the idea was to like try to find the positive in a lot of it, because like it's easy to shit on a movie, but like if we could find like one good thing in a bad film, that's fine. So like we've sort of had that kind of idea of it's not black and white, but I still feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I still feel the need to plant my flag, and either it was good or it was bad.
Yeah.
And the timing of watching this video was very interesting. It was right after we watched this movie, Evil Dead Rise, where I think, and I don't know if this sentence is going to make sense, but did we like it? Yes. Did we not like it?
Yes.
Yes. It's Evil Dead Rise is this very middle of the ground in terms of the Evil Dead franchise, which is nothing but bangers.
Yeah.
I loved Ash vs. Evil Dead. Love 1, 2, 3. Army of Darkness is probably my favorite. And then the Fede Alvarez remake, I think we both thought was exceptional.
I love the Fede one. Yeah.
Is it Fede or Fede? I don't know how it is. Yeah, well, let us know.
Fede, call us.
Call us. Let me know. Now that Aliens wrapped, come on, we'll talk about that. We were just talking about Ridley Scott.
Yes.
Making movies. How old is he? 86?
86, I believe, yeah.
He looks great for 86.
Yeah. He wears that little vest like nobody's business.
And he keeps his beard, and his little hair. He looks good.
Fit man.
Really get on here. We'll talk about Napoleon.
Yeah, really.
But we both, I think it's safe to say that we both kind of fell in the middle with Evil Dead Rise. A lot of stuff we liked. Like, I think the gore in it, the gore in Evil Dead still has maintained a level of excellence.
Yeah.
I thought the I liked the family.
Yeah.
I like the setting of the apartment with the young neighbors and the one creepy guy.
Mm-hmm.
All of that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some. But what? like those are all like pretty great things.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's really good.
Yeah.
The demons, the Book of the Dead, the design. But why do you think we're in this middle ground? Like, what were we missing?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was trying to figure out too, because like I think you liked it more than I did. The more I think about it, the more I'm not a big fan of it.
Right.
But it's hard to say. It's like it's not because it's like a bad movie. I always hate calling like things bad, and like I get into discussions with some of my friends when I say, well, I don't like those movies. They're always like, oh, what's I was like, I don't mean that I hate them or that I think they suck. Right. I just don't like them. That doesn't. You can still like them. Like, it's always like defending. It's always like, well, I like them, but for what they're worth. I'm like, no, it's fine. I don't want to. I'm not saying it's bad, good. It's like I like really shitty movies too. But like, yeah, with Evil Dead, I was just like, why didn't it quite hit? And like, I saw one review where we called it joyless, which is kind of. It didn't seem like there was much joy put into it. Like, it didn't seem like it was like passion in it. For me, like, there wasn't like a lot of passion, or like, I don't know, it was just like something like, it was just a little, just like not as crisp as I started watching not the old one, but the remake, the Fede Alvarez one, and like watching that was like, that one's a serious movie, so it's taking it seriously as well. But it's just the way it's done, the confidence, and I think the writing, it just puts it above, like, just a notch higher.
Okay.
And I think just the writing is a little lacking
crisper
in this one, yeah.
Oh, and lacking in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, and like it's weird to say that about like essentially a B movie about, you know,
and
weird zombies. But I was like, but I mean, it's still like the thing that bothered me about it. And that's why I can't quite get behind it.
That's really interesting. I think the joyless thing is probably that sounds like it resonates. And you know, not, I mean, they were doing this thing where, and maybe they do this in a lot of movies, and I just noticed it on this one. I don't know, but like whenever they introduce someone, they're like, "Hello, sister, my sister. You are my you are my little sis."
That's the problem.
Just to keep reinforcing that they're family. It's like, I don't know. Maybe that's just, I don't know. Maybe I have a hair in my ass about that, but like normally, like, I get that. Mm-hmm. You know, it just felt weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it felt awkward. There was a lot of awkwardness that wasn't supposed to be, I think, and some tension that was just like, the groupie through line was really weird.
Oh yeah,
like how much that bothered her, and like I see why it would bother her, but she never really said like, "Can you fucking stop?"
Right
until the end. Spoiler. That's like the last straw of the evil dead demon to call her a groupie.
Yeah,
yeah. I was like,
there's worse things.
Yeah, there's worse things you can be called than a groupie.
Yeah, and it's weird because like you'll have like those moments, those things that we were bumping on, but they're immediately followed by really, really, really well done tense scenes.
Yeah, good.
With really good gore, great build-ups. Like I thought and I saw a lot of people talking about this. They really liked the camera going through the little peephole. And they hang there for a minute. Like I remember,
the peephole shot was great, and seeing her in the peephole was like That was like money.
Because that was the first, I believe, one of the first images they released for Evil Dead Rise when like everyone kind of knew about it.
They should, yeah.
They shot it for it felt like forever, and maybe something happened with the pandemic. I think it felt like things got lost in time, and people were like, "Is that movie still happening?" And then that image came out, and I didn't expect them to make the peephole like a big scene.
Yeah,
and I think it was really well done. It had Evil Dead staples of like kind of like ridiculous violence. You know, it felt like Looney Tune-ish a little bit too, because like people go flying off screen and she's following them, and it was really well done. So you have moments like that. You have and moments like when the young boy plays the record. Like I thought that scene of them saying the words to make the demons come. I thought like those were all done well. It's just it keeps going like, you know, back and forth between like really, really great scenes and then like just
kind of like these,
okay scenes.
Yeah, these really
Not
weird
bad.
like just corny, like just the kind of like cliche type stuff that we're just like, well, we're trying to get information out as quickly as possible, and we're not even gonna try to like.
Yeah, because it is an hour and a half.
Yeah,
it's they're not.
And it's one of those things where it's like half the information probably didn't even need.
Right.
Like some of the stuff is like, well, it's estranged sisters. Go.
Yeah, and then, where's your husband? Oh, I called you 3 times. Blah blah. Blah. The funniest comment I saw was the one I sent you, where it was like, "Dad left at the right time."
Yes, exactly.
It's not wrong. Like that dad's somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure he's a piece of shit, but he's an alive piece of shit. Yeah. Thank God I missed it. But yeah, there's.
It should have been the end credit sequence, him coming back with like a pack of cigarettes.
Right.
They see, I told you I'd be back, and be like. What the fuck?
what happened here? But I don't know. I didn't hate it. I actually like. I think I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Do you think that? Because I did this for Alex. This was probably one of my biggest regrets is that I overhyped Get Out for Alex. Like,
oh really?
And I actually just watched the trailer for Get Out yesterday, and I was like, man, that movie's still so good. Yes. It was like $4 million, like a 4.5, according to the internet, the $4.5 million for Get Out.
Yeah,
that's an Academy Award-winning horror film.
Yeah,
$4 million. So, anyways. I overhyped Get Out for her. I talked about it. I talked about it. I was like, it's the perfect Twilight Zone movie. Rod Serling, wherever the fuck he is, you know, he'd love, you know, show him this movie in some kind of afterlife. He'll fucking love it. He'll be pissed that we're still dealing with, you know, the themes of the film. Very mad about that. He fought a war, you know. But like,
his entire show was built on that.
Yeah.
He's still like,
but we still,
come on, man.
We still didn't get it. But we're still getting great fucking movies from it. And so when she saw it, she liked it. She had no problems with it. It's just I severely overhyped it. Do you think that we suffered that same fate with Evil Dead Rise? Because you could not look anywhere without Fangoria, you know, Bloody Disgusting, anyone on TikTok just like talking about this movie and how great it is.
Yeah, because TikTok had the cool behind the scenes stuff, which I liked seeing of how they did like how they had everybody strapped in. And they would show like all that stuff was really cool. It's like, oh, cool. They're kind of like they're proud of this stuff, which is I mean, they should be proud of that stuff, and those scenes and sequences were cool.
Those are all that. Yes.
Yeah, but like you need more than that kind of thing. And I know it's an Evil Dead. I keep asking for more.
Right.
But it just felt like it could have been. I think a couple times I commented was like they're just like hanging out, like she's outside the door and they're just kind of like, cool,
yeah.
And everybody's just like sitting around, like, what are you doing? Like, it's Evil Dead. This needs to be like propulsion.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be like not Sam Raimi, but like still it just needs to be forward motion.
Yeah, and what's funny is I do want to say like one of the best things about the movie is Alyssa Sutherland as Ellie, the mom. Like that performance is she is really like the glue of this movie.
Yeah, she's good.
So like for all the lulls that we like talk about in the movie, whenever she's on, you're captivated. Like you cannot like you're scared, entertained, and it's kind of hilarious. Like what she calls them, like the titty sucking parasites.
Yes,
you know, like that. Like she has so many great scenes.
I I think the other character doesn't quite give it as much. She doesn't have much.
Right. She has the pregnancy that they're hiding, and then she has that cool line where she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna swallow your soul. Oh, 2 souls."
Yes.
And you're like, "Oh my god." The thing that I think kind of sucks is, shit. How do I even say this? Like, okay, I know what it is. So we have all those great scenes.
If we were film criticism guys, we would know what their problem is.
Right, and that's why
we're just working through it now to figure out what their problem is.
And I know what it is. I know what it is. It hit me like a light bulb in that Willy Wonka trailer we just watched. Everyone talked about the cheese grater.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Everyone talked about. I remember.
I saw a bunch of reviews like, "Oh, cheese grater." Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I even like they had a fucking hashtag emoji for it, like on Twitter, and I remember like Fangoria posted just cheese grater, and I think I saw someone say at one of the festivals they were handing out like mini cheese graters.
Really?
Yeah, and it's in the movie for like a second.
It is the one thing. It's like one
she
move,
scrapes
right?
her leg, and it looks good, but like,
yeah,
there's a lot more. Like the cheese grater, as cool as it is, that's like that's probably like the best thing that could happen to you in the Evil Dead in this movie.
Yeah, it was like the least amount of like, it's like a paper cut. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I remember my cousin Jeff telling me about someone getting their face shredded with the cheese shredder on like ECW back in the day.
That's probably right. Yeah.
And I remember thinking like that mortified me because I was a WCW kid. Like they didn't do shit like that.
No.
Sting would come out with a baseball bat and someone maybe get a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
But hearing that someone's face was getting shredded by a cheese grater, cheese shredder.
You watch his old ECWs. They're like it looks like they're in a basement. like it's like Fight Club. It looks like.
It looks scary.
It's frightening.
But I never saw that fight, and so I always had that image. And so when I was like, oh, like a horror film's going to utilize this, this object, this is going to be great. But it's really just like the one, how you doing? You see her flesh kind of go through the little holes.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of it.
So,
It's like one of the least painful things that can happen to you in this movie, and they made such a big deal about it. I feel like that's where I think it got a little overhyped.
Yeah, it's almost like in wrestling. Maybe back to wrestling, they'll use it once and then like throw it away.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you doing? You could be cheese grating everybody's face.
Yeah, everyone can.
Just use it,
like down to the bone.
Yeah, just keep,
something really
just
awful.
Keep using it, man. Just keep using it.
And it's just kind of like the once. I mean, granted, one swipe with that would hurt
fine.
very bad. Like I wouldn't like it.
No,
but in the Evil Dead film, like you're like, oh, I'll take that any day over, getting what was the one doll she shoves through her sister's eyeball? Staphany, yeah. It's better than getting I'd rather get the cheese grater than Staphany through the cranium.
Yeah, I mean, I like the. I mean, spoilers coming up, but I like the last kind of creature that kind of mutated between the kids and the mother. That whole thing with all the arms and legs. That was I liked that a lot.
That was a cool.
I would have liked to see more of the kind of that type of body horror in this for sure.
Yeah, because with Evil Dead 2, you have what's her name, Henrietta at the bottom. So there is a history of having these weird, huge monsters.
Yes.
And I thought that one looked great.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of a I forget the name. I think it's Godric the something. I think it's a villain from the Elden Ring game.
Okay.
Where it's kind of a monster looking thing. It has a bunch of arms, kind of sticking out. And
it didn't look. It looked like it could have been practical. It could have been CG. But they kept it dark enough that you couldn't quite tell, which is good.
Yeah, and for an Evil Dead film, for a horror movie like this, you want a bunch of cool looking practical effects. Yeah. And everything looked good.
Yeah, it's the behind the scenes stuff is they were kind of toting that's what they were doing.
Right.
Which is cool.
And they even bragged about, that was the other thing that they hyped, but I don't think they ever hyped, was how much blood they used. I think they said it was 66,000 or 600,000. It was a crazy amount of blood, but if you've seen the movie, you know what scene they used it in, and it was their Shining homage.
There was many Shining homages in this one for sure. And that elevator one was just shot for shot, basically, I think.
And it looked just as cool.
It looked cool.
It looked great.
That's cool.
Yeah, the elevator.
If you're gonna do it, fucking do it.
Yeah, and they did. So it's I don't know where or why I feel the way I feel about this movie. I when I saw the remake, the 2013 remake, instantly loved it. I remember the first time I saw Army of Darkness, loved it. Same with same with
Me
all
too, yeah.
Ash vs Evil Dead, loved it from episode 1. This is the first one where I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, I feel like it's just like a new
So if you had to
iteration of it. You know?
So now that it is part of the Evil Dead franchise, everyone does their rankings, and then if you had to place this one, where do you place it? Do you place it dead last? Which, keep in mind, dead last in this franchise is still a lot of exceptionally better.
Because you got 4. I mean, you got 4, right? Four solid movies before that. Honestly, I think first one's great, second one's great, third one's great, the remake is great, TV show's great. So they had all of them. I don't know. Yeah, I still put it dead last.
I think I put it dead last, but
but not like I'm done with this franchise. It's just like let's see what's next.
It's weird to place something dead last, but that dead last is still very good.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
and I think that's why I feel so confused about it, because everyone was telling me this movie's the second coming of Christ. The horror, they always said the horror's back, baby. But
that's right.
You know what I mean? But when it comes to a continuation of a franchise, it was just announced this morning that Prey's nominated for an Emmy.
The movie Prey?
The movie Prey, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they have some kind of outstanding long form thing because it came out on streaming.
Oh,
so it made it eligible for an Emmy.
Yeah.
And Prey, I really love.
I wish I would have been able to see that in the theater.
Yeah, me too.
I would love to see that in the theater.
So I don't know. It's a very weird film. I would rewatch it.
Yeah.
I actually would like to rewatch it with some friends to see how they reacted, because we kind of felt the same way during some of the big gore scenes, and it was a fun watch.
Yeah.
Maybe if I could check it out in the theater again, I think that might.
Yeah, I do think about it a lot.
Yeah,
because I am I mean, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it. So it's just and I'm always just was that me?
Yeah,
like my own
and
issues with the with filmmaking or with dialogue, because I'm always the first thing I'm always that dialogue's kind of bad, and that's always my first go to is well, if I found a movie, it's usually well, the dialogue's a little meh,
right,
and there's usually too much of it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times have we mentioned on this show before that how you view the movie can affect it quite a bit. Yeah, and so we watched it when it came out on Max. The people who were raving about it did have the theater experience, so I still think I'm mixed about it. I still think about this movie quite a bit. Baby, I still think about you every day.
It's weird.
It's a weird thing, and I'm open to seeing it. I'm sure it'll play in a theater again soon. And
eventually it'll be one of those things where it's all Halloween 3 with me. It'll come in a box set, and every few years I'll watch them all. And every time I'll watch it probably more than I'll watch most movies I like. Yeah. Just to be it's maybe this year.
Yeah, I can see this movie doing that.
Yeah.
To me, because I know in my heart I didn't hate it. I know in my heart I didn't love it. It's
I know.
It's
what are feelings? I love what I guess it could have been. Almost, it's almost it could have been. The idea is really cool, and they almost had it.
And to be fair, it is, aside from the TV series where Raimi did do the first episode, but then you get I don't know who does, a bunch of other people do the TV series. So it is the real first time, if you exclude that, of having a very Raimi direction towards the film. Well, no, because you have the 2013 Evil Dead. Yeah. Okay, I lied. Which
was a complete opposite almost of the Raimi movies, but still worked really well.
What I think is the 2013 one. So my whole theory I was just talking about just got thrown out the fucking window, by the way. So it doesn't make any. Yeah, I contradicted it halfway through the thought. See, that's why the film criticism guys, they're writing it. Yeah. They got typewriters, like Anton Ego from Ratatouille.
Yeah.
The 2013 one felt what if Sam Raimi and his crew had an actual budget when they shot the first Evil Dead? Yeah. That's what that felt like.
And a legit writer, because I think Diablo Cody at least helped write it.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
So again, it's you had some.
That's cool.
And somebody who really was no, we're going to fucking do this.
Yeah. Where Evil Dead Rise felt like they were trying to combine, Evil Dead 1, 2, Army of Darkness, and
And the remake, basically.
Yeah. They were trying to combine all those. So I think they crossed a couple streams. Yeah, I think I would love, when it goes to theaters, I think we'll definitely have to see it there just to give it a fair shake. Same with Scream. I didn't see Scream on the big screen. I do want to watch that because I think that's like I actually tie that with Evil Dead as like the big release. I think Scream's probably a little bigger.
I did watch that one.
Oh, would you? Okay, so what did you? Was it better than the 5?
No, in my opinion.
Interesting, because I've heard. Okay, so I've heard the opposite. I've heard people say like 5, they they wanted to have the Wes Craven thing, but then 6, they kind of found their footing a little bit. You think it's the opposite?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was. I watched. Yeah, I just like sat down. I was like, I'm gonna watch this. And somehow I was like I just started watching it like Saturday. I was able to kind of like power through it somehow with kids and like everything happening. I just still watched it. I was paying attention. Don't worry, I wasn't not paying attention.
Right.
But yeah, it was. And again, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, I like the first. I even like the first 4 so much. They just step into Wes Craven's shoes. I don't think these guys should be right now. Like it's like you should be having somebody who's got some.
Because they started out
some miles behind them before they could like really. Because Wes Craven, how many movies had he done before he did Scream?
Right.
And these guys have done like 3 or 4 movies, and you're giving them these big franchises. And like, I don't know if they have the chops yet.
Right.
Like, give them 20 years maybe.
Because Ready or Not, I thought was a real.
Ready or Not is great. Yeah.
Real grand slam.
But it's not. That's not Scream.
Right.
That's not the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
Because even with that, this little mini Scream episode. After that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Scream 2.
Right.
And see how they handled again, because the exposition of Scream 6 is really bad. Okay. It's just like really like they just like fucking tell it to you instead of even trying to be creative with it. Scream 2. So I went back to Scream 2. I was like, let's see how Scream 2 dealt with Scream 1.
Right.
And they hardly tell you anything. They hardly break anything down from Scream 1, which is like that's how you do it. That's why you did it. They would just hint at stuff, this and that, and it's all this big, interweaving tale of all these characters, but like they don't like rehash everything.
Right.
And I think that's where Scream 6 they're constantly like
they're going back
of the first one, of the fifth one, of.
Does it feel like they don't believe the audience is smart enough to remember, or is it like why do you?
It's almost like I think I've seen it before. It's like it's almost become. They've become what they were kind of making fun of. They've become one of those movies.
Right, and I think that's why it's probably hard to live up to Craven's thing because he's destroying the the monster he created.
Yeah, and by 6, it's like, well, you're just
now we're back.
Yeah,
to it,
and like, yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Interesting.
Scream,
all right,
Scream 2 still fucks hard. like that's going back to Real 2. I was like, Scream 2. I was just like, watching. I was like, no, this is.
That's a T-shirt. Scream 2 fucks hard.
So hard.
I think that's a.
Like, I don't know if a lot of people like Scream 2 as much, but like, I watch you watch it. It really fucks. It fucks hard, man.
That's great.
Like.
Easy. Okay, well, those were our thoughts of Evil Dead. Let us know what you thought. Yeah. Let us know in the form of an iTunes review. We haven't gotten one of those in a while, so go ahead and throw one on there. Go ahead and throw it on there. Even if it's to say, hey, Trevor, Scream 6 rocks, we'll take it. Take the cut.
How dare you.
First of all, good sir.
Yes.
How dare you. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe, I don't know where I'm going to I hope I like it. I didn't. 5, I thought left something to be desired. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that's better, but I'm going to go into it with an open mind. Let us know what you thought of that. Let us know what you thought of the Evil Dead remake. Where does it land in your hierarchy? And then follow us on Instagram at HolloWeeklyPod, and we join Threads. It's okay. I'm not gonna lie. It's
okay.
It's just okay. Like Twitter sucks now. I tried to live tweet with the last drive-in, and like tweets used to like hit a lot of people. Like you get like
you're limited. Yeah, they limit.
Yeah, so like now nobody gets it, and it's just like. It really sucked the fun out of the last drive-in. So like now, because like it was fun to like live tweet it, come up with zingers. People are liking it. You're feeling good about yourself. Yours pizza. It's Friday night. What could go wrong? But like when nobody likes it, you're like, this is so sad. Like I was like, what was the last movie they were doing? Oh shit! I'd have to look at my phone.
He was like refresh.
I don't know. It was not Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. It was something else. Oh, they did the animation. It was the they did Mad God and Perfect Blue.
Oh.
And yeah, I was just tweeting it and like nothing, like it was getting nothing. And I was like, it hit me. I was like, oh, this is sad. Yeah. I'm over it. So hopefully they can make it a thing on Threads.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot more fun. But Threads is so new, like they don't even have like hashtags. Oh, no. You know what I mean? Like it's like brand fucking new. So hopefully it gets better. So follow us there for when it does. If it does, I don't know, but at least we'll be there. Yeah. And then let us know. Stay scary. Watch a bunch of horror movies. We'll see you guys next time.
May I have your attention, please?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I don't know what real anymore.
Horror. Something even more terrible than you.